Yes, Hare Krishna everyone. Welcome back to the Bhagavad Gita study circle. And it's been quite some time. I was really missing these sessions. And last 2 weeks we could not have because of the Brahmotsava festival and there was Snan Yatra. So I felt as if there is something missing in life without this Bhagavad Gita session. So I was very much missing these sessions um, because I always get a chance at least once in a week to meet all of you and discuss Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, there are so many other things which actually occupy our minds. But this is 1 hour that we get every Sunday so that we can discuss the nectarian words of Krishna directly. So we also have Vaishali on YouTube and we have Dev joining us. We also have Hina Mataji joining us on StreamYard. So welcome to the 112th session of the Bhagavad Gita Study Circle. And we have been discussing this since quite some time. I mean, it's really wonderful that uh, we have come all the way till 10 chapters, and last 2 weeks we could not continue, but this very particular chapter is so very important, very wonderful, because Krishna is answering to the questions of Arjuna, because Arjuna has asked some very important things, a question, just like when you want to love someone, when you want to get attached to someone, you should know that person very well. Suppose if I tell, okay, that, oh, we have Vinodji also joining us, Hina Mataji joining us, thank you so much for joining. Very nice to see all of you after a long time. Welcome. So, when we want to get connected with someone, we should know that person. For example, if I tell you that, we have a neighbor called Rahul, and I tell you that, he's such as a person, and, uh, he's a very nice person, you'll not be able to connect with him because you don't know that Rahul. You don't know my neighbor, and since you don't know him, you cannot connect with him. So, Krishna has told, I am such a such person and I am the Supreme Lord. All these things he has explained, the most confidential knowledge to Arjuna, but it is not sufficient. So, Arjuna wants to know more about his opulences. So, Arjuna, after asking these questions about the opulences, because he wants to know more, Krishna is now revealing his opulences, his vibhuti. That's why this chapter is called Vibhuti Yoga. So he is explaining more and more details about himself so that Arjuna can understand Krishna better. Because when you understand God better, you can connect with him better. Isn't it? That is how the relationship gets formed. When two people come in contact and they know each other well, that relationship, that bonding becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. Isn't it? This is how Krishna is trying to explain now very beautifully. Many wonderful things are there to discuss. There are so many connecting things. Each opulence has a very wonderful historical significance. So we need to understand all of that. And let us begin with the pranam mantras like we do always. So kindly join your palms and you can try to chant along with me. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishnapreshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyat Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Hare Krishna. So, welcome all of you once again back. We also have Dishna and Vaishali joining us on YouTube. And if there is anyone else, you can also say Hare Krishna on the comment section so that I know that you're all listening. So, let me also share the screen with all of you. Let's dedicate this session to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, my beloved spiritual master. the founder Acharya of ISKCON. So very nice to see all of you, those who have joined on YouTube as well as all the devotees who have joined on StreamYard. So in the previous words, we have discussed some very important things, and in the 25th verse, we have covered until 25th verse. Krishna said that Maharshinam Bruguraham Giram Asmi Ekam Aksharam Yagnanam Japa Yagnosmi Stavaranam Himalayaha. Right? So these are the things that we have discussed, that Maharshinam Bhrigur. We understood the background of Bhrigu Rishi, one of the Saptrishis, and Omkara, Giram Asmi Ekam Aksharam. So there also, that Ekaksharam is nothing but Omkara, that Krishna is actually Omkara, and Yagnanam Japa Yagnosmi. This is the foundation for all of us, because of all the yagnas that we are supposed to do in Kali Yuga, the topmost yagna, which is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, that is Japa Yagnosmi. So when people generally, some people, they try to criticize devotees in ISKCON. Oh, those Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, they're always having a feedback. They always keep chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. They have bhakti or don't know, but at least they'll be chanting the holy name. They criticize sometimes, but you see, this chanting of the holy name is so very essential, which is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is saying that Yagnanam Japa Yagnosmi, of all the yagnas that we are supposed to do in Kali Yuga especially, I am the Japa Yagna. So that means when you are actually chanting the holy names, you are doing a great yagna as greater as or even greater than the Rajasuya Yagna or the Ashwamedha Yagna or any other yagna mentioned in the Vedic scripture. Such a powerful yagna it is. So you can understand that how easily you have been given this chance to access to the spiritual world, that is through Japa Yagna. And Krishna is saying, Yagnanam, Japa Yagnosmi. I am the Japa Yagna. And Prabhupada has exactly given, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given this process of Japa Yagna to all of us in Kali Yuga. So very simple process. Please understand, in Kali Yuga, there is no other way. You really don't have to go through any other thing than the Japa Yagna. Japa Yagna is the only thing that is one thing that will save all of us. Very, very special to all of us. That's why we need to have this. We also have Vedanta Bhatija, who has also joined us on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining. So then Krishna is also saying Stavaranam Himalaya. Earlier he mentioned that he also is a Meru. Meru is a moving mountain, but whereas the Himalaya is Stavarana. Himalaya does not move. Stavarana means he always is at one place. He's immovable. So even in the mountains, there are movable mountains, there are immovable mountains. And Himalaya is Stavarana. He is a immovable mountain. He is not a moving mountain. I had told you earlier also that how in the Vedic times, the mountains used to fly. They used to have wings. And all those wings were cut down. By whom? By Indra. Indra actually cut down all the wings of the mountains because all the rishis were scared. Because of the rishis, he had to cut down the wings of all. Only one mountain who is still surviving and is having the wings. Any guesses? Anyone knows which is that mountain? I had explained. There is only one mountain which was left with the wings. All of the mountains, the wings were cut off. Does anyone remember? There is one mountain which has wings. Of course, it is not visible right now, but it was the only mountain which was left by Indra. It was left. Yes, that is Mainak. Mainak, which was actually, it's hidden under the ocean. It is hidden under the ocean, where on the way to Lanka, Hanuman actually encountered Mainak, and he was protected by Vayudev. That's why, as a matter of reciprocation, Mainak had come up to give some help to Hanuman. But Hanuman was very busy. He said, no, I am actually on my way to do some seva to Lord Rama. I cannot rest here. Although you have come here, thank you so much for your hospitality, but I'll just touch you. He just touched and he went away to Lanka. So Mainak is the only one mountain which still has wings. Okay, by the way, now this is what we have discussed in the previous verse. So Dev, you can unmute yourself. Let's chant the 26th verse for today. Okay. Again, this is a very special verse. Ashvattah sarva vrikshanam
Ashvatah sarva vrikshanam
devarshinam cha naradaha
devarshinam cha naradaha
gandharvanam chitraratah
gandharvanam chitraratah
siddhanam kapilo munihi.
siddhanam kapilo munihi.
Once again, Ashvattah sarva vrikshanam
Ashvatah sarva vrikshanam
devarshinam cha naradaha
devarshinam cha naradaha
gandharvanam chitraratah
gandharvanam chitraratah
siddhanam kapilo munihi.
siddhanam kapilo munihi.
Wonderful. Please read the translation by yourself.
Of all trees, I am the banyan tree, and of the sages among the demigods, I am Narada. Of the Gandharvas, I am Chitraratha, and among perfected beings, I am the sage Kapila. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you so much. So it's very interesting now. Before we enter into this verse, this morning, just as I woke up, I was just thinking about this very important verse from the Gita Mahatmya. It says that Maline Mochanam Pumsam Jala Jalasnanam Dine Dine Chakrit Gitamrita Snanam Samsara Malanashanam. Gita Mahatmya, which is written by Adi Shankaracharya, very beautifully explains that how every day we may cleanse ourselves by taking bath, water bath. You know, we go and take bath every day, and it cleanses our external body. But when you actually take bath through the Ganges of this Bhagavad Gita is like nectar. It's like water from the Ganga. When you start taking bath, the internal bath through the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita, then all the material dirt from our hearts is cleansed. The lust, the greed, the anger, the envy, the pride, all these anarthas are washed away. The internal cleansing happens when we hear the Bhagavad Gita. So, all of you who are listening today, please pay attention because when you're listening to the Bhagavad Gita, you've already taken the external bath, no doubt. But now, this time is for internal cleansing. And it is required because the more purity you gain from within, the more radiant you become. And the more influence that you can have on yourself, on your mind, and others also. It's very important. Why that influence? Because when the Sattva Guna raises, automatically you can influence the society by creating a lot of goodness among, among yourself and also in the society. So that all will be possible when you cleanse yourself internally. Internal cleansing is essential, and that can happen only through the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita. So this is a very powerful yajna that we are all doing every Sunday, cleansing internally. It's important. Why we have to listen? Because when we hear this pure knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita, which are directly spoken by Krishna, it purifies. Krishna is pavitram, always very pure. So when we hear his words, which are also very pavitram, you will become pure. As simple as that. And we all want to become pure, isn't it? Because when we are impure, how can we make the world pure? So it's essential that first, before correcting anything in the world, we have to correct ourselves. And we have already begun that process because now we have taken the first step of listening to the Bhagavad Gita, listening to the Bhagavad Gita. When we hear from the Bhagavad Gita, the first thing that happens is purification of our heart. And only with purified heart, we can love Krishna. Love cannot exist where there is lust, there is greed, there is anger. We cannot love. Love, even materially speaking, if you have all these anarthas within, you cannot love a person properly. So only a purified heart can exhibit love properly. And what to speak of love to Krishna, that is possible only with a most purified heart. Right? So that is why it is essential that we purify our heart. So now let us go through this words, very essential words. So here Krishna is saying, among all the trees, I am the Ashwataha, I am the banyan tree. So we should know more about this banyan tree now. It's not an ordinary tree, it's a very special tree. It is said that this Ashwataha tree, the banyan tree, is the abode of all the gods. Most of the gods they reside in this Ashwataha, especially the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi. Lakshmi Devi resides in this Ashwataha tree. It's a tree of opulences. Ashwataha, Ashwataha, which literally means that under a tree under which Ashwas they reside. Ashwa means the horses. Ashwa means horses, and under the tree which where the horses reside is called Ashwataha. Why horses were residing under a tree? Okay, now there is a very beautiful story connected to this. Actually, there was once that Agni was dissatisfied with his portfolio. Agni Dev was saying that okay, this is all these oblations that the humans are giving in the yajnas, in the sacrifices. I'm offering it to the devatas, but I'm bored of this now. I don't want to do this. So devatas told, no, we will find some replacement for you, but until then you continue. But he was like, no, I want to leave it. I want to resign immediately. So he wanted to take resignation. He wanted to give resignation, and he gave. And all the devatas were started chasing. Agni went away, and all the devatas were chasing. So Agni actually took a form of a horse, and he took the shelter of a fig tree, and that later on came to known as Ashwatthha tree. He took a form of a horse, and he was hiding himself from the devatas. So this tree is very auspicious because there are many parts in the Vedas and in the scriptures, Atharva Veda. It is said that how many devatas reside here. At the same time, this tree also sometimes it showers the Somarasa. Somarasa, we all know the devatas they drink. It's a very nectarian juice, and Ashwatha tree is also famous for its roots because these roots, no, they are not ordinary roots. These roots, they actually they grow upward and the branches grow downward. This is how the Ashwatha tree grows. The roots, they actually is unlimited roots you will find. The roots of the Ashwatha are very similar. In fact, in 13th chapter, we are going to discuss this more in detail about the roots of Ashwatha tree. The branches grow downwards and the roots grow upwards. Very special, this Ashwatha tree. And Rig Veda also says that this banyan tree, there are these woods. The woods are used in the yagnas. The banyan tree is very special. The twigs and all these things are used in the homa. Every time the homa happens, the homa actually these things are used. Now it is Ashwatha. Krishna is saying, "I'm the Ashwatha." Means that when you see a banyan tree, you see a physical form of Narayana. It is non different from Narayana. Actually, when you see the Ashwatha tree, it is as good as seeing Narayana. That's why in the Vedic Sanatan culture, we don't cut the Ashwatha trees. Ashwatha trees are not cut. In fact, we try to protect them. We try to have Ashwatha katta. They have those benches all around Ashwatha, and it is protected. Generally, we don't cut Ashwatha tree. And there are so many rituals that are performed with Ashwatha tree. Now, we should know a little bit more about this Ashwatha. There are many women, they also do this Vata Savitri Vrata. Vata Savitri, where they go around the banyan tree and they worship this banyan tree. Why? Because it is good for their family, good for their children. Those who do not have children, they can also get children. So, what a Savitri Vrata they actually perform for this particular tree. Now, this what is Savitri, this puja, one information I would like to share with all of you. It's very important. There is the Jeshta Lakshmi. Jeshta Lakshmi means Alakshmi. When there was a churning of the ocean, the milk ocean, between the Devatas and the Rakshasas, the Danavas, when churning was happening, there were many things that came out. And in that churning, the Samudra Mantana, while it was happening, from the mouth of Vasuki, the snake which was used as a rope, from his mouth the poison fell down, and Lakshmi is fortune, Alakshmi is misfortune. Misfortune was created. Misfortune, Alakshmi, when she was created, she was very horrible looking. She is very horrible looking. She has white teeth, black complexion, hair all not properly kept, unkempt, because she is very ugly looking. Alakshmi, misfortune is like that. And Alakshmi was not accepted by anyone. She was thinking, where should I reside? She was thinking, where should I reside? Nobody was. Danavas are not accepting her. And because Danavas also don't want any misfortune. And Devatas definitely didn't want misfortune. So everybody was thinking, what should we do? And she asked Narayana, what should I do now? Where is my residence? Where should I live? So Lord also was thinking of what to do. Then Lord Narayana actually got her, Alakshmi, married to Uddalaka, a great sage. Uddalaka was a great sage. Now Alakshmi and Uddalaka got married. And Uddalaka is a great sage. In his hermitage, what will happen? Vedic mantras will be chanted every single day. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And then there are so many other Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Swaha, Om Swaha. Every day there is yajna happening. All these Vedic rituals and all she could not tolerate because she's Alakshmi. She's saying, this is not my nature to be amidst where the Vedic mantras are chanted. I don't want to stay in a very sattvic place. I cannot stay where there are Vedic mantras chanted, where there is cleanliness. I can stay in a place where is filthy, which is filthy. I cannot stay where there are a very good relations between husband and wife. I cannot stay there. I want to stay separate. Now Uddalaka thought, oh my God, she is dangerous. How can I? She cannot stay with me because I am a sage and she is having completely opposite nature. So it was an unsuccessful marriage actually. Now she was saying, I cannot stay. I want a new home. Lakshmi started demanding Uddalaka that I want a new home. Now Uddalaka said, I cannot live with her. It's very difficult. So Uddalaka took Alakshmi and he took her to the forest. He took to the forest and then Uddalaka told to Alakshmi that you stay under this banyan tree, this Ashwatha tree. And he left her. He told her that, okay, I'll come back soon. And he didn't come back. And she waited and waited and waited. And she understood that, okay, he's not going to come. He's left. He has left me here in this forest. And she was taking shelter of this Ashwatha tree. And she started crying and crying and crying. Alakshmi, she cried so loudly that her cries reached Vaikunta. And there Lakshmi, who is the younger sister of Alakshmi, she said, my Lord Narayana, you do something for us. She's crying there. So then Lord Narayana appears there and says, okay, now this Ashwatha tree is itself is your residence. You will stay here in this tree. Lakshmi, this residence, your residence is this Ashwatha tree. And only on Saturdays, this tree has to be worshipped. Now there are many people who just go round and round and they worship the Ashwatha tree whenever they want. They touch the Ashwatha tree anytime they want. It is not good. Ashwatha tree can be touched only on Saturdays. Other days there is a presence of Lakshmi there, misfortune. So when you touch Ashwatha tree on other days, other than Saturdays, because there is no presence of Narayana, then their misfortune comes and attacks. On Saturdays, you can actually touch and worship the Ashwatha tree. Ashwatha tree is very important, and Narayana personally resides there. That's why he's saying in the Bhagavad Gita, among the tree, I am Ashwatha. And wherever there is Lakshmi, Alakshmi follows. In every home, Alakshmi follows. Please understand, wherever there is wastage of food, Alakshmi will come and reside. Wherever there is fight between husband and wife, Alakshmi will come and reside. Wherever there is filth, we don't clean the house properly, Alakshmi will come and reside. Wherever there is cheating going on, wherever there is greed, malice, that is where Alakshmi will come and reside. So Alakshmi is like that. She comes and stays in all these filthy places and disturbs our life. So that's why we need to keep our homes very clean so that Alakshmi is driven away all the time. And only misfortune has to be thrown away when we have a strong hold on Lakshmi, who is very chanchala. But we can have that chanchala Lakshmi with us when we have Narayana with us, because she will never leave her husband. So that's why we should always worship Krishna so that Lakshmi resides, the misfortune is driven away, and goddess of fortune always resides. Ashwatha, this is the significance, very, very important. And then Krishna is also saying that after Ashwatha tree, I am Narada among demigods. Now, Narada, no matter how much you speak, it is very less when we speak about Narada, because Nara Adaha. Narada means what? Nara Adaha. One who presents the Lord to the people is called Naradaha. So he is literally the one who presents Lord Krishna to his devotees. Narada's job is like that. Narada is such a wonderful preacher that he preaches from womb to tomb. Anybody in the womb, he can preach to that baby also, to anybody in his graveyard also, he can still preach. He's such an amazing preacher. He can connect with a small baby, he can connect with the old person, anybody, and he preaches to everyone. He preaches to sages, he preaches to kings, he preaches to say everybody, demigods. You see, Mrigari, hunter, but who made him devotee? Narada. Such a most cruel person also could be turned into a great devotee because of Narada. Prahlad Maharaj in the womb, but he made him devotee. Dhruva Maharaj, 5 years old, small boy, but he became devotee because of Narada. So Narada's personality is amazing, and Narada, in fact, he travels all over the three worlds just to make everyone devotees. Very special character, very special devotee. We need people like Narada in this world because they are the messengers and they can connect, they present the Lord to all of us. We need more and more such people like Narada who can actually connect all of us with Krishna. Very, very important. So, this is one very important thing. And then Krishna also is saying, among the demigods, of course, he is, and of the Gandharvas, I am Chitraratha. Now, this Chitraratha also to be understood a little bit. Chitraratha, there is, we know that there are different categories of species, living entities, and Chitraratha is a Gandharva. There are Ekshas, there are Gandharvas, there are Siddhas. Gandharvas are known for their singing, very good vocal singing. Gandharvas are very special. They sing very beautifully. Many times when the singers are, even in the material world, when they sing very beautifully, oh, he's a Gandharva. Many people call them as Gandharva because Gandharvas are known to be very good singers. And among those good singers, among the Gandharvas, the topmost singer is Chitraratha. Chitraratha. The name itself is very special. Chitraratha. Chitra means it's something very special, and Ratha means chariot. So he had a very special chariot, and that's why, because of his special chariot, his name was Chitraratha. So in Mahabharata, there is one very special story that comes when the Pandavas, they were in the Lakshagraha. Pandavas were tried to be burnt in the Lakshagraha by the Duryodhana and team, but somehow the Pandavas escaped through that Lakshagraha, that wax home, and then they escaped and they started going into the forest. And as they were going to the forest, through the forest, they came across Ganga. And on the banks of Ganga, it was night, and that is the time when the Gandharva, especially this Chitraratha, along with his many wives, they were also nicely enjoying in the waters of the Ganga. And here the Pandavas said, we will also, they wanted to refresh and they started using the waters of the Ganga. Chitraratha did not like this. He said, how come this is the time for the Gandharvas to enjoy, and here these people, these humans, are now coming and disturbing us? And there was this Vada Vivada, arguments, and they started fighting. Chitraratha became angry, and Arjuna said, no, this waters of the Ganga is meant for everyone. It's not only for the Gandharvas, it is meant for everyone. Chitraratha didn't like this. Then he started flying in his Chitraratha, his very special Ratha, chariot, and he started shooting arrows. And Arjuna, he's uh, not an art, he's also a very great archer. Arjuna said, okay, he is a Gandharva, he's a demigod, and I cannot shoot ordinary arrows. He used Agni Astra. And by using Agni Astra, he destroyed the chariot of Chitraratha, that special chariot, and it was burned to ashes. And then Chitraratha, this Gandharva, got to know that, okay, that he's no ordinary person. He's Gudakesha. Even in the night, he can actually shoot. And at the same time, Chitraratha himself admits to Arjuna, I'm really sorry. And all these days, I was known as Chitraratha because of my chariot. But now I'll be called as Dagdarataha, burnt chariot. Because my chariot is burnt now, I'll be known as Dagdacha. So this one instance of Chitraratha I'm trying to explain. Why? Because a little background, and at the same time, Chitrata is a very wonderful singer, and Krishna is saying this opulence, this vibhuti of being great singer is coming from me. Krishna is a very beautiful singer, and Krishna can sing in any languages. In fact, when the birds, when we hear this cuckoos and other birds, when they chirp nicely, they sing so beautifully. Where is that all coming from? It's all coming because Krishna can sing in any languages, even in the language of the birds. And among all these singers, Chitrartha is the greatest, and Krishna is saying, I am that. I am that. So very, very special. So Chitrartha, among the singers, he is the one, and among the perfected beings, I am sage Kapila. So Prabhupada also says in the purport that Kapila, there are two Kapilas. One, there is fake Kapila, and there is a real Kapila. Kapila, the son of Devahuti and Kardama Muni, is the Lord's incarnation. Kapila Muni is the Lord's incarnation. And later on, there was another fake Kapila who came, Kapila Muni, who taught exactly opposite of what Kapila did. Kapila Muni actually taught Sankhya philosophy. In the third canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Sankhya philosophy is explained very much in detail. Sankhya is the analytical study of spiritual life. Analytical study. We have this body, we have the senses, karmendriya, jnanendriya, man, buddhi, ahankar. All these details, when we study, it is called Sankhya Yoga. And that particular Sankhya Yoga was taught by Kapila Muni. But later on, there was another fake Kapila Muni who came and taught exactly opposite to what this Kapila Muni is. So we need to understand that. Of course, now Sankhya philosophy, if you want to know more, we can understand it through the Bhagavatam third canto. Okay, so this is very interesting. So here in this verse, Krishna is saying, I am Ashwataha, I am Narada, and I am Chitraratha, and I am Kapila Muni. Let's see what he is going to say in the next verse. So, Hina Mataji, you can unmute yourself. Let's chant the next verse. So, verse number 27. Uchchaishravam, Uchchaishravasam, Ashvana, Ashvana.
उच्चैश्र श्रवणम् sorry उच्चैश्रश्रस्वसम् अश्वानाम्
Viddhi Mam Amritodbhavam.
विद्धि माम् अमृतोद्भवम्
Airavatam Gajendranam.
ऐरावतम् गजेन्द्राणाम्
Naranam Chanaradipam.
नराणाम् च नराधिपाम्.
Let's chant this once again.
Yeah.
Uchchaishravasam Ashvanam.
उच्चैः च श्रवशम् अश्वानाम्
Viddhimam Amritodbhavam.
विद्धि माम् अमृतोद्भवम्
Airavatam Gajendranam.
ऐरावतम् गजेन्द्राणाम्
Naranam Chanaradipam.
नराणाम् च नराधिपाम्.
Wonderful. Please read the translation.
Of horses, know me to be the Uchchaishrava, produced during the churning of the ocean, for nectar. Of lordly elephants, I am Airavata, and among men, I am the monarch. Hare Krishna.
Yes, wonderful. Very nice. So, this Uchchashrava is very special horse again because it also came from the churning of the ocean. Samudra Mantana, Uchchashrava. This horse is a seven-headed flying horse. Seven-headed flying horse it is. Very special. Uchchashrava means long ears, or Uchchashrava means also which neighs very loudly. You know the horses, they neigh. A horse which neighs very loud is called Uchchashrava, a seven-headed flying horse. And it was created when there was Samudra Mantana happening. And Uchchashrava sometimes is also described as a Vahana of Indra, although later on Airavata became, but sometimes it is also, Indra liked it so much, he wanted that to become his Vahana. And later on in some of the scriptures, it is also said that the Bali Maharaj also made Ucheshrava as his Vahana, and sitting on this Vahana, Ucheshrava, he has conquered many, many, many wonderful things. So the demons also wanted, it's very special, very beautiful, snow white in color. It's snow white, a beautiful white horse. And that very famous story I had mentioned about Vinuta and his sister, her sister, Kadru. Kadru is the mother of snakes, and Vinuta is the mother of Garuda. So both of them had this competition once that, Ucheshrava, when they saw the Ucheshrava while they were walking on the beach, Kadru said, oh, this Ucheshrava, so beautiful, but the tail is black. The tail is black. I don't know. Vinuta said, no, no, it is fully white. No, no, the tail is black. Kadru was a little cunning. She said, no. She said that the tail is black. When they had this competition, we'll see it again next day. And if the tail is black, we will have a bet. And if you lose, you will become one of us. Whoever will lose, they'll have to become the maid servant of the other. And then she went, this Kadru, and told her children, who are the children? Snakes. She told her children that all of you, tomorrow, you go and hang yourselves to the tail of this Ucheshrava, who is so white. So they all went and they hung to the tail of Ucheshrava, and it started looking black. It was very fast moving. And that is how Vinuta lost the bet and she had to become the maid servant. But this was all happening in a very cunning way. But when Kadru went and told her children that you have to hang yourself to the tail of Ucheshrava, there was one of her child who was Vasuki. Vasuki also is now going to come in the next world. So Vasuki is a snake. He denied. He said, no, I will not do that. And what happened because he denied, that we will discuss in the next verse anyway. But now in this verse, a very special thing is mentioned. Here Ucheshrava is not an ordinary horse, and Ucheshrava can fly anywhere it wants. It's a very celestial horse, and definitely Indra wanted that to be his Vahana. And then there is Airavata. Airavata, as we all know, that in the present time, Airavata is actually the Vahana of Indra. It's a very great, humongous elephant, very special. That elephant also can fly. Airavata is an elephant that can fly. Now, it's very rare to see something, and we may see that it's all myth and mythological, but anything that is mentioned in the scriptures is not mythological, it's all there. Just because we don't see such things, we think that, oh, this is all simply mythology, it's a creation of somebody's futile mind. No, Ucheshrava, this Airavata, all these different animals are all celestial animals. They all exist. It's just that we don't have access to them directly through our sense perception. But when you actually advance yourself and become a great devotee, you can actually, great sages, they can visualize all these different animals. They can see all these celestial beings. But we are not aware. So scriptures will never speak anything wrong. Ucheshrava is mentioned in the Mahabharata, in the Ramayana, in the Puranas, everywhere. Ucheshrava and Airavata have been explained. So among the elephants, he's saying that I am the Airavata. Oh, he's a very strong animal, elephant. And Krishna is saying, I am that special horse and I am that special elephant also. And he's saying, among men, I am the monarch. Monarch means there is no democracy. See, this is the time of democracy. But there was a time in the Vedic times, there was monarchy. There was this no called, Prabhupada says democracy is demon crazy because all demonic people take the positions of leaders and they destroy everything. And today, because of so much of chaos in the world, it's all created because of the leaders in the society. When we don't have right leaders in the society, all this chaos is there in the society. So Krishna is saying, I'm the monarch. Why monarch? Because this monarch, the Vedic time, the monarchs, the emperors were direct representatives of the Lord. Yudhishthira, Parikshit Maharaj, there is Prahlad Maharaj. All these great kings, they are representatives of the Lord. When somebody becomes a king, it's not that I want to rule. He's ruling, but on the behalf of the Lord. The kings earlier, Yudhishthira Maharaj was very clear in his mind that I'm not ruling, I'm only doing my duty as a king on behalf of the Lord. This is how a great leaders can change and transform the society. There is today, we have this books called servant leader. There is a terminology called as servant leader. Servant leader means a leader who actually serves his people. Many times Narendra Modi is also called as a servant leader. He's a leader, but he serves the society. And such people who actually serve become great leaders and are well known in the society, right? Recently, somebody told him, the Australian Prime Minister told Modi, oh, he's a boss. He's the boss. Why he's the boss? Because he's serving the greatest population, the largest population in the world. He's serving so many people, and that's why he's called the boss. Why? He's the boss because of his service, not because he wants to become the boss. So, similarly, there are many, many great monarchs like Yudhishthira Maharaj. They are the boss, they are the kings, but on the behalf of the Lord because they serve the praja. When you serve the praja, then you are fit to be a Raja. Without serving the praja, nobody can become a Raja, right? So Krishna is saying, I am the monarch of the monarchs. I am the king of all the kings. All the kings actually serve him. Oh my God, such a powerful thing it is. Huh? We are all attracted to powerful people. We are all attracted to great leaders. And here there is a greatest of the greatest king, and that great king is Krishna. And we are trying to talk about him, the greatest king. We're trying to talk about that great personality and trying to understand him. Very special. Right? So we will chant another verse and then. So Vinodji, you can unmute yourself and let's chant the next verse. Very special. आयुधानामहं वज्रम्
आयुधानाम अहम वज्रम
धेनुनामस्मि कामधुक्
धेनुनाम अस्मि कामधु
प्रजा प्रजनश्चास्मि कन्दर्पः
प्रजनस आस्मि कंदर्प
सर्पाणामस्मि वासुकिः.
सर्पानाम अस्मि वासुकी.
Let's do that once again. आयुधानामहं वज्रम्
आयुधानाम अहम वज्रम
धेनुनामस्मि कामधुक्
धेनुनाम अस्मि कामधु
प्रजनश्चास्मि कन्दर्पः
प्रजनश्चास्मि कंदर्प
सर्पाणामस्मि वासुकिः.
सर्पानाम अस्मि वासुकी.
Wonderful. Please read the translation.
Of weapons I am the thunderbolt, among cows I am the surabhi, of causes for procreation I am Kandharpa, the god of love, and of serpents I am Vasuki. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Wonderful. Very nice. So, now here, again, Krishna has explained some very interesting things about his opulences. He's saying that among the weapons, there are so many weapons. Here is thunderbolt. Thunderbolt, we know when there is a thunderbolt, we see how powerful it can break buildings sometimes. We have seen that. My personal experiences also have seen many times a thunderbolt. It burns the trees into ashes. Sometimes it completely burns. Hits the buildings, and the building is broken into pieces. Very powerful. Thunderbolts are very powerful. And Indra has this Vajrayuda. Vajrayuda. He uses this Vajrayuda to defeat his people. We know that Indra used this Vajrayuda to hit Hanuman. He attacked Hanuman. Hanuman was once, in his childhood, he went to take away the sun, thinking that it's a mango and he wanted to eat the sun as a fruit. He wanted to eat of. And then Indra came and he took his Vajrayuda and he hit Hanuman, and Hanuman fell unconscious. And later on, Vayudev did so many things. So that pastime goes on like this. And Hanuman was later blessed by all these devatas. All that pastime is there. But thunderbolt is a very powerful thing. Even Hanuman was so powerful. He fell unconscious because of this. It's a pastime again. He's a very great devotee. And among the cows, he's the Surabhi. Krishna is saying, I'm the Surabhi cow. Now, Surabhi cows are not ordinary cows like what we see in these days. These days, we see cows which give 5 liters of milk, or maybe the Gir cows today will give 8 liters of milk, 9 liters of milk, maximum, not more than that. Surabhi cows are like 24 bar 7 milk giving cows. Anytime you go and they'll give you milk. It is said in the uh, Brahma Samhita also that how that Surabhis are unlimited Surabhi cows are there in the Golok Vrindavana. Amazing cows these are. And with milk, you can do so many different varieties of things. These cows are very special, nectarian. It is said that this Surabhi cow, one was there with Vasishta Muni, this Nandini. It was unlimited, giving unlimited milk and very powerful cows. These cows are not simply milk giving cows, they are very powerful and magical also in nature. Whatever you ask, Kamaduk, you ask them, Kamadhenu. Kamadhenu means they can give you anything that you want. So this Nandini was there with Vasishta, and everybody, there are so many instances where there were some greedy people who wanted to take away this Nandini. Like, for example, the wives of the Ashtavasus, that they wanted to steal away, and they stole actually. They stole this, and later on they were cursed to become humans, the Ashtavasus, and that is how Bhishma was born, right? And Varangi, his name was Varangi. The Vasu's name was Varangi. Both Varangis they planned and they took away this cow from Vasishta, and they were turned to become later on Bhishma Pitamaha and Amba. They started fighting each other as husband and wife in the next life because they wanted to steal away the cow, right? And then we have this Kartaviri Arjuna who also stole this Kamadhenu, this Nandini cow from Vachista, and later on Parashurama came and finished Kartaviri Arjuna also. So like this, we see that these are very special cows. They can make a big feast when you want. Whenever the Vashishta wanted some big feast, he'll tell the Kamadhenu, Nandini, and it will create a big feast, and it can feed thousands of people. So these are very powerful. Krishna is saying, such cow, Surabhi cow, I am that cow. Very special. So Krishna is saying, among all the cows, I am this Surabhi cows. And then he's also saying, in the next, among the procreators, I am the Kandarpa, love of God. I mean, the God of love. So we are so used to say of love of God. We always want love of God. But there are some people who also want the God of love to be mercy of God of love with them. They always want to be attracted to the opposite sex. And that is why they worship Kandarpa. So this, if there is an attraction between male and female for procreation, for generating children, good children, so that Krishna is saying that attraction also, that Kandarpa, that attraction is me. So understand that when there is an attraction between a male and female, that attraction is originating from Krishna. Without being its origin in Krishna, we cannot get attracted to anyone. Because there is Amsha of Krishna, that attraction is there. And Kandarpa is the god of love. And Krishna is saying that God of love is my representation. That's how this whole procreation happens. The world is populated. Without this, imagine the world would be empty. Because there is an attraction between male and female, the world is populated. Without this, there would be no people. So Krishna plays an important role in so many different things. And this is one of the important aspects of the universe. And then he's saying, of the serpents, I am the Vasuki. Now, Vasuki, as I told you, the mother of Vasuki is Kadru, and she had cursed Vasuki. This Vasuki was cursed. What was the curse? Because you didn't help me, you will be burnt in the yajna later on in the future, that yajna which is performed by Janmejaya. Janmejaya is the great grandson of the Pandavas. He will perform an yajna, and all the snakes will come and fall into the yajna and will be burnt. Vasuki was thinking, what do I do? There should be some solution, because now my mother has cursed. What should we do? And there was a brother. There was a brother of this Vasuki called his name was Ilapatra. So this Ilapatra, he told Vasuki that, my brother, listen to me. I actually heard Brahma, once he was talking to Devatas, that this curse can be overcome only when, there will be one person. Who is that one person? Our sister. Our sister is Jaratkaru. Our sister is Jaratkaru. when she finds another sage whose name also will be Jaratkaru. So this sister Jaratkaru and a sage called Jaratkaru, when they will get married, they will have a son, and they will have a son called Astika. When they will have a son Astika, this Astika can actually help us from being burnt into the yagna of Janmejaya. And then lot of planning goes on. And then Jaratkaru sister was got married to the sage Jaratkaru. To just imagine, first of all, these days finding a bride or a groom is so difficult. In spite of having this Shadi.com and I don't know what other matrimony sites there are there, and people find it so difficult to find a right bride and a groom, isn't it? And see this situation now. The requirement is such that her name, the bride's name is Jaratkaru, and her husband's name should also be Jaratkaru. How to find someone in this whole universe, to find a person, a sage, a boy who is also a Jaratkaru? And that Jaratkaru, he said, I will not marry. And his ancestors had to come and tell him, please marry. You have to make this world popular and I mean populate, and then you have your role to play. He's saying, I want to stay Brahmachari. Jaratkaru is saying, no, I don't want to marry. Then the ancestors, the great sages, come and explain to him, convince him, and then he also puts a condition that, I will marry to only that girl whose name will be Jaratkaru. All this is will of providence comes together. Both Jaratkaru, husband and wife, they get married. They have a child called Astika. And this Astika, later on, when Janmejaya is performing yagna and all the snakes are coming and falling into the yagna, this Astika goes and talks to Janmejaya and convinces him that this is not right. Please stop this yagna. So there are many connected stories. Because of the shortage of time, I'm not able to explain the whole thing, but there are amazing things, very nice related things here. So we will definitely, as we go forward, we'll try to understand more and more. So this Vasuki was used as the rope during the churning of the um, Samudra Mantana, and his face. That's also very interesting thing. His face was towards the demons, and the tail was towards the devatas. It was a trick of Vishnu, and because of this face being towards the demons, he was emitting poison and the heat. All these demons were getting fatigued, and they were so much tortured by this heat coming out of the mouth of Vasuki. So Vasuki, can you imagine? He became a rope to churn the mandara, a huge mountain, and he's a rope pulling here and there. You can imagine how strong he might be, Vasuki. And these are he's the second among the kings of Nagas, or among the snakes. He's the second king, or the second level of king. First is Sheshanaga, Ananda Shesha, and the next level is Vasuki. Vasuki resides in the Patala Loka, and he has a very nice jewel on his head. Nagas generally have the jewels on their heads. So Vasuki is that way very powerful and a devotee actually. So Krishna is saying that devotee snake is me. Vasuki is a devotee. Other snakes are not. There are Sarpas, there are Nagas. Nagas are considered to be different categories. Nagas have the monies, Sarpas do not have monies. Okay, so these are few things. If you have any questions, you can please feel free to ask questions in the comment section. So Dev is asking Kandar Pakoti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Exactly. So that is the Brahma Samhita statement. Kandar Pakoti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham. I am Koti Kandarpas put together. I am that one. No Kandarpas. Koti Kamaniya, most beautiful damsels of heavenly planets cannot match the beauty of Krishna. He is so beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Right? Correct. Wonderful. Actually, that's a good connect. Kandar Pakoti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham. Thanks for letting me know that. Wonderful.
Prabhuji,
Yes, Mataji.
that Jagannath Snan Yatra, can you just elaborate for 2 minutes about that? The fever of Lord Jagannath.
Yeah. There is a ritual that Snan Yatra happens of Jagannath during this particular month. And what happens is there is a there are different rituals they perform. There are unlimited rituals that they perform in Jagannath Puri, and Snan Yatra is actually one of them. So Snan Yatra, this Lord, it is also said that he takes, because the Snan Yatra happens After the Snan Yatra, the Lord takes the diseases of his devotees. That's one understanding. And because he takes, he becomes diseased. Now, we should all know that Krishna is free from Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. He is free from birth, old age, disease, and death. But to perform the Leelas, pastimes, he becomes sick because he takes the diseases of all his devotees. He becomes sick. And during this time, he's given special uh, herbs, juices, and he's fed. Now also, Jagannath, he doesn't give darshan to the devotees during this time. He's kept in a separate bedroom. He's quarantined, basically. So he is completely away from all the public, and he takes all these herbs and other things. All these Vedic, Ayurvedic things have been bought, and it is being served to Jagannath during this time. And also, if there is any rectification in the deities, if painting has to happen or anything, small corrections have to be done, it's a wooden deity of Jagannath. So that will happen during this time of the year. And once in 12 years, of course, in Jagannath Puri, they change the deity itself. They go and find a particular specific log, that log, which tree, all those things are shown to the priest, head priest in the dream, and they go and find it out. It's a big thing. It happens even now. So now, Snani Yatra, because he takes the diseases of his devotees, he falls sick and he stays away from the public vision for 15 days. Then he will directly come on the day of Rath Yatra. After Snan Yatra, he comes and gives darshan to his devotees on Rath Yatra. So 20th June is Rath Yatra. So Jagannath will come on the Ratha and gives darshan. Jagannath, Baldev and Subhadra, they will come and give amazing darshan. And there is Gaja Vesha also. He becomes Gaja Vesha that was given to the Lord. That's another ritual. And then after the Rath Yatra, there is Sona Vesh. Sona Vesh, they call. He is bedecked with gold. It's like a king. He's like a king. So he's bedecked with gold on the Rath Yatra day, on the day of Rath Yatra, very, very special. So that also can be seen. That's on Bahuda Rath Yatra. There are many pastimes to be told about Jagannatha, but one thing I would like to share with all of you, since you have asked about Jagannath, one beautiful pastime of Jagannath. And this happened very recently in the 17th century. So in the 17th century, there was one very rich merchant, very rich person. His name was some Mehta. I forgot his name exactly. And he was so rich. He used to earn in lakhs. During those times, 17th century, lakhs is a big amount. And he was so proud. He goes to Jagannath Puri and he tells the Pandas that I will give you 1 lakh rupees as donation to this temple, provided I have a condition. What is the condition? You have to make one offering to Jagannatha which is worth 1 lakh rupees. 1 lakh rupees worth offerings you have to make for Jagannatha, then I will give you 1 lakh rupees. Now, pujaris are thinking, okay, if you put, what can we do? 1 lakh rupees, what can we prepare for Jagannatha? This fellow was very proud of his wealth. He's thinking, oh no, I can do whatever I want. He's so rich that he's thinking that, these people will not be able to defeat me. They all made one big, had a conference and they started thinking, what can be given to Jagannatha? What offering can we give? They thought, okay, the best of the ghee, the best of the kesar, the best of these things, that thing. Even if we make all these different things and put together, it may hardly cost them some 5 rupees or 10 rupees. Now he's talking about lakh. How can we make something that is worth 1 lakh rupees? कौन सा गुलाब जामुन या कौन सा रसगुल्ला बन जाएगा 1 lakh रुपए में? So they were all bewildered, thinking what to do. And then this person is coming and asking the pandas, now did you get some solution? Is there something that you want to make? And the pandas tell, no, we are discussing and we will tell you soon. Now the pandas thought that we have to do something. This is, after all, somebody is giving donation. We should not reject. 1 lakh rupees is not a small amount. When somebody is wanting to give, we should better actually take it and use in the service of the Lord. Now we are not getting the solution. Let's go to Jagannath. He knows. So the head priest and other priest, they go and nicely pray. They do kirtan and they sing, and then they pray to Jagannath. Please let us know. Please help us. How can we offer you something which is worth 1 lakh rupees? And that night, Jagannath comes in the dream of the head priest and tells him that, oh, Panda, my dear devotee, I know your situation. You are in a big trouble. I know his intentions, I know your intentions also. I will definitely tell you that I need one offering, and that offering is very simple. I need one pan. You know, pan, we eat that pan, I mean, not the Banarasi pan, not this pan. Pan. Now, pan is what? You know, it's like paise. During that time, it will not be one paise or two paise. And Lord is asking, just one pan? How can it be? Just Lord is asking as insignificant as a pan. But Lord says, I want a pan, not with just that gulkan and the supari, but I also want one more thing. I have a condition. Lord says, if that person can have a condition, I also have a condition. You know, in generally pan they apply the tuna, that white tuna. So Krishna, the Lord Jagannath is saying, I want that tuna, but that tuna has to be made of the pearl which is present in the forehead of an elephant. You know, it's called Gajakesari. You know, some elephants, they have a pearl in their heads. Now, it's very, very, very rare to find an elephant which will have a pearl in his head. And Jagannath is saying, I want that pearl to be taken, crush that, and make a tune out of it, and then that has to be applied to the pan and given to me. Big condition. Next day, this rich person comes and says, Pandaji, do you have anything? Yes. Jagannathji will tell us, and he has already told us. What Jagannathji will tell? You know, he's thinking, nothing these people cannot do. Then the head priest comes and he tells, Jagannathji wants a pan. This person, what one pan? I want to give 1 lakh rupees and you're saying one pan. Then we have a condition. Jagannathji has a condition. He says that he wants a pan which should have the tuna, which is made up of a pearl of a elephant. Gajakesari. Oh my God. Now this person goes wild. He is dumb because he knows that to find such an elephant is impossible. Where will he go? And you know, he has to kill so many elephants and find that head, that pearl from the head of the elephant. Just impossible. He understands that I was so proud. I was so proud that I wanted to give 1 lakh rupees to Jagannath. But now I know that I cannot even offer one simple pan, an insignificant pan to the Lord. I'm so poor. So this happened very recently in the 17th century. This is the actual past time that happened. So Jagannath is Jagannath. You know, we just cannot defeat the Lord. We cannot try to overcome the Lord like that. We cannot be proud. So Lord knows how to break our pride. So we should be very careful. So Jagannath will come now on Rath Yatra day and gives his darshan to all of us. Until then, we have to wait patiently. It's a very massive, amazing festival. And if you go to any time, get a chance to go to attend the Rath Yatra, you should go. You will see almost about 5 to 10 lakh people there. It's like people come there to die in front of Ratha. Old people especially. They say, I want to die in front of Ratha. It's amazing crowd. Mood is very different. Amazing spirits. The rituals of bringing Jagannath from the temple, from the Garbhagudi to the Ratha is called Pahandi Seva. That is so electrifying, very electrifying. If you are in the presence of that ritual, you will be transported to Vaikunta. It's like that. Very special. The way they bring the Jagannath, the way they pull the Jagannath. You know, Lakshmi Devi is telling, no, I can't leave my husband. You know, he's going out of the temple. Lakshmi Devi says, no, I cannot. I will not leave him. But Jagannath is being pulled to the other temple called Gundicha temple where the gopis are there. Radharani resides. He wants to go to Vrindavan. And Lakshmi Devi doesn't want him to go. And that Pahandi Seva is so amazing, so amazing. You will be mesmerized to see that. Very special. So many rituals are there. We try to go sometime to Jagannath and see all that. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask. So we had a wonderful audience there on YouTube also. Thank you so much for joining, all of you who are listening on YouTube, as well as Dev, Vinodji, and Nina Mataji. We will continue our discussion from the next verses in the next Sunday session. Until then, please take care, all of you, and we will meet very soon. Take care. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.